table. Uh, she was telling me about how she sent you and your brother John down with a wagon. I expect it was a little child's wagon that you pulled with
Well,
some wood to
we
this.
had that there too, and we had a horse and wagon. We brought us some wood, I'm sure we did. And then at times she had a garden right there from where the church is down in that hollow there.
Wait a minute, from the church.
Right on the corner there.
Well, it's where our house is, wasn't it, or no?
No,
No?
our house is down along the lake on the bank. There's a feller in front on the lake, and in back he's got a cedar hedge there. And the reason back is kind of up bank, and that's where the house was, where she had her house.
Yeah, I remember the house is. Yeah, I remember where her house was. Uh-huh. But
Yeah.
where was her garden?
You know, there's churches on the corner here.
Oh, clear up there.
Yeah, Oak Road. You went up there just a little ways in the back where that road goes around from
Yeah,
back there.
it's kind of
Right in
open
that hollow
in there.
there.
Yeah.
That when they filled that road in, kind of broke it up, so you don't see it so much now. They filled it up 4 foot there
Uh-huh.
between that hill and that.
Yeah. But over,
It's to the east.
still to the side of it you
Yeah.
could see. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't
on the
know
north
that.
side there.
I didn't
And
know.
as all growed up, that was open, bare. There was nothing there.
Huh. That'd
Yeah,
be a warm spot for
Yeah, well,
yeah.
what was, the way I understood, there was a logging camp in there one time.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And they had the buildings there, but they wasn't there no more. Somebody else told me that that's what it was. That's why it was. And he had a garden there all the time. There's for a few years, I don't know, 3-4 years we helped her. Plowed it for her and everything, but
Oh, you plowed the garden for her
yeah,
even.
part
Oh.
of it.
I wondered how she could work the ground up, herself.
I don't know how she did before, but afterwards we helped her out. Didn't make no difference because we wasn't doing much anyway. We wasn't never as busy as we are now. So.
But I know your mother said you took when you found her dead. You were the one who found her dead.
No,
you and
none
John.
of us did. The only thing we got it is in winter time. The mailman or somebody took your oil can to town, kerosene can, and he brought it out and set it out there. And a couple of days after, it was still there. So there's Mr. Palmer was a mailman at that time. He went to see the forestry in there. And they went looking. They got the sheriff out and they found him sitting in a chair in there, and she had no fire, and she just died.
She froze to death. Yeah.
Of course, she couldn't help it. She couldn't control herself. She was wet all the time.
She was what?
She was wet. She kidneys.
Oh, her kidneys were gone.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
She always had trouble.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes she'd hear you had to get outside. You couldn't take it.
Uh-huh.
And she was there. She'd run out of everything. She had a chair she sat in, and it was wet, soaked dry down through. She couldn't help it. And she sat there, and she didn't have no fire, and it was cold, and it was snow in winter time.
Christmas time.
And she just went to sleep, and that was it.
Yeah.
Froze.
Huh.
So Mr. Palmer was mail carrier then. You know the Palmers there.
In Roscommon, yes. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And
yeah.
her, the oldest daughter always come and picked her dad up over at Milligan's there.
The Palmer.
Yeah.
Palmers.
Oh. Anyway, she told my mother and that she had to go. Her dad had TB.
Now, who had the Palmers had TV? Yes.
Yeah,
uh-huh.
he did.
He did.
Was mailman there, and
uh-huh.
he felt so far he couldn't go. He couldn't go any farther. He used to have the route go all the way to Cheney and go up through Roscommon and come out and Chase Bridge Road. And
you know how far that is because you were there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was with the horse and sleigh in the winter time.
That's right. That's what he carried mail with, wouldn't he?
He did as far as he could get sometimes. He just too cold. He was kind of sick, and he stopped. And he must have had a phone there. Called him up. They lived over Well, Gary's Township there. Well, you know where Lance lives.
Yes, yes.
Well, you go down a half mile farther south from that corner, then you go east of about a half mile right in there. They used to live in there, and right across the roads. Oh, and I can't think of them names right now. They lived there too. He was a carpenter for a while.
Well, that goes back maybe farther than I do.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So,
That was pretty primitive up here, wasn't it?
no, that's all I know about.
Mm-hmm.
She died there, and I don't know if she had any relation or not. She must have had. I never really got much of
Well,
it.
why was she up here alone, I wonder?
That's something that's hard to tell. I didn't know too much about that. What it is, little what I got, her husband left her.
Not up here, though.
Yes,
Oh, he was up here with her.
yes, he left her. And that's all, unless she was something wrong then already with her.
Yeah, there wasn't anything wrong mentally with her.
Not I know of.
And Clayton's folks thought she was quite well educated.
Yes, she was, yeah.
And I think she was was she from Chicago, do you think?
No, I don't think so. She's from one of them southeastern states there, Virginia or something. She come from. I got that.
Did she have an accent, a southern accent more?
No,
You don't remember?
that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know. It didn't sound nothing to us like it, because we wouldn't know much way back there then in 18 and to 20, 23 or 4.
No. Well, it's a strange thing that they came. Well, then he came and lived in that cave with her. It was more or less a cave.
I think so. That's the way I understood. That's all I know.
But you never saw him.
No, I never did. No. He wasn't here then.
I don't think he was when Clayton's people were here either.
She had a house right there where that fellow along the lake.
Turner's, yeah, where Turner's cottages.
A cedar hedge there with a rail fence, and then back he got his wood. He bought that just so nobody else could behind him. And when they found her in there and had kerosene, so the sheriff and everything, they didn't even try to save anything in the house because it wasn't
They
worth
just burned
saving.
it up.
They just threw that kerosene 5 gallons on and touched her off. She's buried most likely in Roscommon.
Yes.
Roscommon, they should know something about it.
That would be something. You could look up the death reports or the cemetery.
Cemetery in Roscommon.
In Roscommon. That's because that's the only cemetery we had except for Cheney at that time and Pioneer, but they wouldn't take her out to Pioneer.
No.
Mm-mm.
Pioneer, I don't know how long that is. Same with Beaver Creek, they had a cemetery a long time too.
Well,
but they didn't do it for nothing. But finally, in the last 20 years, they kind of fixed it up a little bit. And they had one over Cheney there too, but they kind of abandoned that.
Well, it's mowed and all that.
They don't take care of it much.
Well, I think the vandals get in there too bad.
That's it. They dug out the biggest share of the graves and everything, and they just they put a fence around, but that didn't stop them from going in.
No.
Over there, they're taking care of that.
Would you ask him about his mother when she was born and when she came up here and all that?
Margaret's rather interested in your mother and your family, how you happened to come up here. I know you came from Chicago, but she came from Czechoslovakia, I think.
No.
No? She was born in America?
No.
No?
From Romania.
Oh, Romania.
Yeah. It used to be Hungarian. After World War I, Romania took over.
But when she was there, it was Hungary.
Yeah.
Hungary.
No, Hungary.
Hungary. She's Hungarian. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want them foreigners too yet.
Oh, you were born over there then too?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. John?
In August. No, he was in Chicago. From January to August, we come out here in August.
So she was carrying you.
I was 7 months, 8 months.
What year was that?
1905.
1905. That would be a steam steamship, wouldn't it? You know.
Yeah, I was steam that time. I was not, and it took them a week or 10 days to come
Yeah.
across. I don't know. Anyway, she was sick. My aunt was with her. That was her sister-in-law, her husband's sister.
The two men had come earlier,
We went
had
to
they?
Chicago. We didn't come here. We were in Chicago first.
Yeah. But the men had come first, didn't they? And then the women came?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Most of them were.
That's...
My uncle from my mother's side, he was here, and they finally got to send some money over, and we come over then. That's why we got over.
That's why.
We got over here, and then they got a little money to send money, and we let them come over that time. Quite a few of them.
It's the way they came, yeah.
We was there. I can't quite figure out when. We must have come here in 1908, first time.
Oh, you came and went back and came.
Chicago, and then we left from here, went to Grayling. It was 3 years in Grayling we lived there. And from there we went to Chicago, and 3 years in 1918 we come back here and been here ever since.
Because I thought you were here about the same time Williams were at Cottage Grove, and they must have gone there in 1912,
well,
I think.
They must have got here before. They was here already in Cottage Grove when we come here in 1918.
Yeah, well,
that, I don't know.
They were, Clayton was born in 1908, and he was born up on the hill. And then he and Madeline and Art were all here when they came. So I think it was 1912 they came. So.
Mr. Williams worked for Silsby, I think, or somebody over it, where on that hill there for that house is there. George.
But your mother had quite a handful, I think. You fellows were pretty small when she came.
Well, yeah, 1908 there, and I was quite 3 years old in that spring of 1908 when we come here.
And then there were two younger than you.
John was younger, see. Then.
Well, the girls weren't born yet.
Well, no. One of my brothers was born here, and Marie was born here. And then when we went to Grayling, Catherine was born there in Grayling.
Oh, in Grayling.
1913.
Was your dad with the railroad or something that you came? So many of them were.
Huh?
Was your dad with the railroad when you came up?
No, I know just what he did here. He worked down the camp the second time there. But first time he got a job in Grayling on the railroad for a while.
Yeah.
He didn't work in the mills or anything.
So many came with the railroad, because the railroad was here and brought them up.
But he didn't have to work there. He could do the others better than that, but he never followed his trade.
What was his trade?
He could make a pair of shoes out of just a chunk of leather.
Oh.
That's what they like here. You go out there 3 years of school and learn it before you get in.
Yeah, and then he apprenticed too.
And a painter too he was. Heck, he could take it like in Grayling and make a big talk about where they paint all them pictures along on the walls and stuff. There was nothing for them to do. Uncle, same thing. They decorated the house and they did it all, and afterwards they painted right over it to hide it. They mixed all their paints too, and they didn't have it all bought like now.
And none of you are artistic that way, are you? None of you can do oil paintings.
Well, no. I could monkey around a little bit, but not enough to speak of.
Not like he could. Had he gone to school in Hungary had he gone to school, do you think, to learn that, or do you think he just...
No, he learned that. I know about the artist part. He had to learn to paint.
Yeah.
House decorating like that, which you don't hear. You just get a brush and tell you, put a shingle out your painter, and heck, you can't paint. They're just daubers here. They don't paint. They just put it on so thick that it's got to peel it off in order to get it there.
I know it.
That's where they make the mistake. I thought when I painted, I always thinned it down, and I never liked that thick.
I never paint with it till it's thin.
I always thinned it down, turpentine and linseed oil. Turpentine.
Give it a second coat if you need to.
Then you put it over, and then when it dusts off, then it's all right. Otherwise, you put that too heavy on and put linseed oil in, then it starts elongating, peeling.
Sure.
Then you got to really burn it off and make it look right.
Yeah. Well,
No, I know, there's a lot of change here since that time.
here's something. Did you come to Mickelson or did you come to Roscommon? Can you remember that when you moved back up here? What do you know about Mickelson? Do you remember shopping or anything there?
Mickelson? Well, I worked in the swamp there one winter for him. That's for a jobber they had. And I was over Mickelson, Hanson, and Grayling, you mean. Well, Mickelson had a lumber mill in Mickelson there.
Had a town. There was a town of Mickelson.
There's not much left there now.
No, there's just stumps in the water.
There's a few.
Oh, there's some foundations, yeah.
Foundation,
I go over there once in a while. What about Percini? Did you come to Percini?
The only thing I remember, there was a hotel there one time. I don't know much of anything else.
Do you remember seeing the hotel, or?
Yeah, that's after we got the car in 24. We got a car, and I think I drove around that once, and we saw it. I saw it in the building. It didn't. Well, I don't know how long we stood after it, but it's gone. You can't even tell where it was. It was just a basement underneath, like a Michigan basement, just a hole there to store your stuff under. But afterwards, I seen it when they burnt that, or they tore it down. The plaster and stuff was in the hole, mold laying there, and that's all. But I don't think you can find it now anymore. Everything.
Yeah, we were over there.
There ain't much left there no more.
No, there's just a dent in the ground is all. But we were there with Sid Dyer, and he knew where to look for it.
He's
See?
a little, he'd maybe more inclined.
Yeah. Well, they only live 6 miles from there, so they know where it is. But
ask him what life was like as a teenager here.
well, what was life like as a teenager? What did you do for entertainment?
I don't know. I was doing entertainment. We didn't have nobody. We played amongst ourselves here when we were all alone until we moved out of here. We didn't have no neighbors here over the hill. I don't remember ever going over to the neighbors over.
No, you never thought of going to the neighbors. You entertained yourself.
And afterwards, when we come back again in 18, we didn't mind. We walked wherever we went. Walked to Roscommon, Grayling, and one neighbor or the other come home at night without even a lantern or no flashlight. We could feel our way with it. We felt the path and we knew where we was going.
Well, sure, your eyes adjusted to it.
Yeah,
yes.
The trees wasn't as thick as they are, and you could look up and see the light, and if it was an open spot, and you could feel the path there. If you went after the cows to bring them home at night, sometimes you come in dark, it was when you just hung on their tails and they let you home.
You didn't literally hang onto their tails, no.
Sure, we kind of had time to do it.
You did?
Well, sure, that didn't bother. We could.
Just take hold of their tail and keep walking.
Sure.
They knew their way home, but...
Sure, they knew the way. All they did is get them started. You had to get them home and do is get them milked.
And they wanted to be milked, of course. Is that somebody that you need to see?
Oh, that's all right. He'll come back down again.
It's who?
I know.
Oh.
He's going up to Sawmill. Nobody up there, I don't think.
No dances?
No dances? Yes, you went dancing. I remember that.
Yes, we went over to Line Manors there and over.
Sure, we did too.
Over
to Beaver Creek.
Fraser, where he had
Oh, well, that's later years. What about when they were younger? You know, your mother, when you think about it, we're older now, but we still like to go and do things. But your mother and those older people, once they had grown children, they didn't seem to feel a need to get out very much, did they?
Well, they did quite a while till after. Well, it was up to the 35 and then a little bit from there on. Then from that, they didn't go out too much. My mother didn't. Some of them.
So you mean 35 years old or 1935?
1935, that's
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
See. Then we went over there and they went over. She went over there once in a while with us.
Did she go over with you?
Line town hall there over here where they got that church there now. That's where it was. That thing's over in right there Redmond's bait shop right down towards the lake. That old
Oh yeah,
schoolhouse is there.
not that schoolhouse. Did you go there
Yes,
too?
that old schoolhouse is there.
I know it. I've been in the schoolhouse, but they didn't have dances in that, did they?
No,
No.
they had town hall there.
But the town hall, I know, because I used to go
Right, the
too.
same place there, but I don't know what they done with
And then
it.
Frazier's. But before that, let's see, you went to Grayling to school. How did you? No, you went down here to the corner
It was
school.
over here, just
With where Williams went, yeah.
Sims' schoolhouse.
Sims School, sure.
The Williams didn't like it because we went there, so
They didn't, because you're
No,
across the line.
Yeah.
What do you mean by
The
that?
old man anyway.
Well, this is Crawford County on this side of the
Yeah,
blacktop, and that's
Roscommon
Roscommon County.
That's.
Oh.
But then afterwards, we went over to Love School a couple of winters. We walked all the way winter. We didn't miss
Well-
a day. We didn't miss a day.
We didn't either. We walked, doesn't matter how deep or how bad the snow was coming down.
How many
We
miles
had a
was it?
path, and we stayed right on that path all winter. We didn't follow the road. We went right straight through the woods through. Shortest
Yeah.
route we could go.
But you had a well marked
packed.
path
Oh, it's
because it was
packed over.
packed, sure.
We could tell if he was on it or not, and sometime in the morning we could feel it. We stepped off, we went down, so
It wasn't much farther to Love's than it was to Sims, was it?
oh yeah,
Oh, was it?
oh yeah. Sims is just a
Well,
mile and
Sims.
a quarter,
Oh, of course, if you go through the woods.
about 2 miles at most.
But you go through the woods.
I don't know now.
Here's
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So,
well, let me see. When did you start the sawmill?
well,
In the 30s, huh?
no. I did work a little at, but I didn't start the sawmill. I worked in the woods way back there in 33 and 34 and 35.
Doing what, though? If you didn't have the mill, what did you do?
I was just cutting cedar and stuff and and logs and pulpwood,
Selling what?
selling the wood and firewood and getting that out. That's, you can sell firewood. There wasn't so many firewood people around like there is now. No, we just started this. I started a sawmill. Well, I cut a bunch over across the lake. They had a 40 where I got some. Oh, fire went to in 33, so I cut that out. And
That's when the CCs were.
Yeah.
They fought that big
I
fire.
cut that out, and I had a feller there cut it for me, and had a truck, and he took some to Grayling to the flooring mill there. They had a little sawmill there. And then Heidemann had a sawmill, and I took some over there, and he cut some out for me. In the winter of 33 and 34, I built a cabin in the woods there, and all alone. And next winter in 34 and 35, I had a few people help me there, and got a lot more cedar posts out. And,
Where was the cabin?
you know, old 27, when you go in the swamp, that nice-looking house with the pond in there, about a little better than a half a mile.
Yeah.
Oh,
in the
toward
swamp,
where?
towards Houghton Lake.
There's a house over
Oh,
the
yes,
pond,
yes.
yeah.
Now I know.
On the
yes,
right-hand
yes,
side.
Yes, it was
Well,
that.
that's the south, but we come in from the west into it there.
Uh-huh.
They didn't have that road. They had to follow a ridge
That's
into
in the
it.
Dead Stream Swamp. Yeah.
Yeah, we come from there where the overpass is, and the other side we come over, and that 27
I
went
know.
right over and cut that right off so you can't get in from the back end.
Oh,
Then in 35 we went to caretaker down in Lakeside Camp. And then 11th November 1940, you remember that storm we had here, that wind.
Yes, that took some of the pines down in Cottage
Well, it
Grove.
was all level, they're placing all over.
You know.
It wasn't this cyclone or a hurricane. It was a steady wind that just kept pushing, get stronger, and they just pushed it like you take a small sapling and push till it falls over, and that's what these did. Then next year I cleaned it up there, and I don't know what I think I got a mill then. Somebody had an old mill, and they went and got it and set it up. Somebody set it up and used it and cut them logs out.
That's in 40s.
41.
41.
In 42, the feller that saw it, he went and got a piece over on Oak Road in the north of Fletcher Road there. And then afterwards, in 43, I'd done a little work in 44 43 in a sawmill. I shut and then they called in the service.
I was thinking you went to the service, yeah.
And the trouble, I left here just the day before Christmas.
Oh, is that when they called you, the day before Christmas, or is that when you had to go?
I had the spring already a furrow for 6 months, so I didn't have to go, see. Well, they called and then I went. And then after I was in there for a while, they come around and said anybody over 38 years can get out if they had a job. So first time I never paid no attention to it. Next time it come my last chance. So I thought, well, I wouldn't lose nothing by it anyway if I didn't get it out. So I got a letter from Brady and he said I got a job and everything. So I come home. And I fussed around home for a while and the Spence brother in Saginaw didn't call me. Finally asked him and they come around and I went down and worked there until towards fall of the year, and then I know something went wrong there and I got laid off, come home, and next spring I went, or this fall I went and started a mill up a little more ahead of here.
It just kind of grew, didn't it?
Then from then on in 44 kept right on working.
Yeah. Then you had, what, 2 men, didn't you, mostly?
Well, I had one feller helping me in sort of partnering, Don Nolan, you know him.
Yeah.
Roscommon.
Yes.
He had 2 trucks.
Yeah.
But he wasn't much of a help afterwards. He always thought I was cheating him. I had to furnish all the money. He only had a couple of old trucks.
That
Anyways, it
didn't work.
broke up next year, and so I was from that all alone.
And John, where was John? Was I know he was
John?
caretaker, but where I can't remember.
John was 1 year caretaker down. Then his
Just saying, I remembered how your mother used to cook full dinners for a cottage girl, biscuits and chicken and mashed potatoes and whatever else, pie or cake, I suppose.
That's what she went down in Cottage Grove and done a lot of cleaning for them people years ago when we first come up here during the summer. In winter time, we got enough together so we could live on it.
Sure. She walked from here to where she went to.
We didn't have no car.
You did have a team, though.
We got a horse and team afterwards, but
Did you have one horse first and then?
yeah, I got another one.
Uh-huh.
We didn't have much. We cleared land and stuff and worked on that.
It wasn't cleared when you got here then. Well, then you little boys really did the clearing.
Well, yeah.
Because your father wasn't here since.
Well, he helped too for first there. He stayed here for a while till, I don't know, 28, 29 when he left us.
Uh-huh. Then your mother had you little children to raise on a farm that was probably, you didn't have 20 acres cleared, did you? But this garden has always been good on this side. The ground apparently was good there.
Well, it's been enlarged a little bit, and I've put a lot of time in it.
You know, a lot of.
But not very much this year.
I see that there isn't what there used to be, but maybe you don't need that much anymore either.
Well,
so
I just got behind this year. Weeds took over and everything, didn't they? The only thing I got is potatoes and the corn down there. A few raspberries. And I got a cucumbers. That's about all there is.
I see you still plant your gladiolas.
Yeah, I had a bunch of them, so I stuck them in there, and
They're in bloom.
they finally come to it.
Yeah.
So they're pretty good.
But that must have been something to plow this and grow your crops and I know finally you had this whole hill was all farmed.
Yeah.
That was sandy too. It wasn't really good soil, I don't think, on that hill.
It's all sand. Yeah, after about 2 or 3 years, there's nothing in it no more to grow.
Uh-huh.
It ain't like down around Bay City inside and all there. There they put blacktop on good soil instead of up in the sand hills.
Terrible.
They spoil it there.
Yeah. The south end of Higgins Lake is good.
Well, it is in spots.
soil.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
But this end is
But
all
there
sand.
with the hill, they got a little better soil in spots there. But they got frost 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
That's the trouble. Very seldom they miss a couple of months in summertime, don't freeze on them. Yeah, that's the trouble with it. See, that's what Love's had their frost there all the time, too.
Yeah.
If they had 2 months without frost, they was lucky.
And Skingley's too had a farm.
Oh, all of them in Trinidad
all of
Flats
those
there.
farms.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
the only good places up there in the hardwoods there where they had better soil there.
The hardwood was better.
Yeah, where Anderson and lived in, and the mother ones, or I can't see them.
I don't know their names now anymore either.
They had fairly good soil there.
Yeah. They had pretty good houses. There's still a couple big ones in there.
And
then there were some that weren't, many of them that were not very good.
A few of them moved in there too. There's two of them moved in from South Branch Ranch because they moved in there.
You mean in the early years?
Yeah, here during the Depression, the South Branch Ranch went out and they had a bunch of buildings there, and so the people bought it for a little now and moved them over there. Didn't have restriction like they got nowadays. Now they got too many wires to take down.
Well, they take the roof off now.
Yeah.
And they moved the Love School or the Richardson School into Roscommon, and they did take the roof off. So, what else were you? What did you mention?
I was wondering about what you did grow to eat, and did you get any imported food at all in the beginning? Did you grow everything that you ate?
Well, most of it. Yeah, we had a beef animal, one of them. We had some cows. We got milk, chickens, pigs. We had some ducks at times. No geese, though, I remember.
No rabbits?
Well, we didn't have to raise rabbits. There's so many around here. Then you didn't have to go out and get them.
Oh, so you didn't need to bother taking.
No.
What about deer? Did you hunt deer?
Deer, there was enough here, but I don't know. I went out a little bit and not hunters like some of them. But now, deer take everything over. There's too many of them.
Yeah. Deer eat your garden.
Oh yeah, I got electric fence to keep them out.
Oh, Well, that's a good idea.
Well, sure. That's the only way I can keep them out.
Sure. Have you had that a long time?
Oh, about 4 years. So
oh, not too long.
They seemed to didn't bother too much. But lately, one day, they went out there 3 summers ago and looked at my garden, and man, it looked terrible where they got in there. There must 3-4 of them got in there.
Just chewed it up.
I went to West Branch and got my electric fence and put it up, and then they come back the same night. If it didn't have it, then they would have had it all.
Oh.
So,
It's interesting.
and they hit that electric fence, and gee, they come to it again.
You saw them?
Again, they touched it again. They never come near it. Then they stayed away. I had it last year, this spring. I put it up there. I didn't have it because I had to take it out and work at the garden with the rototiller. And they got in there, and so I put that up, and they was going to get in. They did get it, 2 of them get in. They got a shock from it. But then one got out, and the other one must have tried to crawl under it. That's where he made a mistake.
What happened?
He really got poked there, and he laid on the ground, and he had the ground stirred up and finally get on. They never come back.
You didn't see them do this? You
No,
could
I
just
never
tell
saw
by their
them.
tracks.
They do in the nights. They come in the nights.
But you could see how they
they was right and have it leveled off where you laid on the ground, kind of whirled around there.
Do you regret your life up here? Would you rather have lived someplace else?
What's that?
Put your hand down. You had your hand over your mouth. Would you rather have grown up somewhere else, or do you regret having lived here?
Well, I don't know. Gee, I don't know. If we were somewhere else, it would have been nicer, but we had no reason to move away. Maybe we would have done better if we went somewhere else. But we always had enough to eat, and we had everything we wanted. We didn't have to go to welfare. We never was. Huh?
Very few people went on welfare. They didn't always have very much,
they never
but
did. No.
They wouldn't go on welfare.
No, that's all they do.
Yeah. You just.
We always found work. Maybe wasn't much in it, but we get maybe 25, 35 cents an hour, and that was good wages at that time. And we always had enough. And clothes, you bought a pair of shoes for $4 or $5 better than you get one now for $40 or $50.
Yeah, you're right. So.
In the same way.
Did you pick blueberries and blackberries to sell?
Oh, we did that too. Blackberries there wasn't too many
No,
around.
you had to go to the hardwood to get. But blueberries.
Blueberries, there's a lot of them. Up in the hill, they're just thick. You didn't have to go very far.
But
Now
they're
you can't
not there
hardly,
now.
Can't hardly find a vine. I did get 4 quarts this spring.
Where? You're not
Well, I
telling.
can tell you,
You're
I
not
don't care.
gonna tell, and that's something you
Right
don't
on Oak
do.
Road, I went up there
What?
mile and a half, and over to the left there went in there. And I went in there once to look, because there always was some in there. And
Under
I
the-
found a few, and the next day I went and I picked 4 quarts. Took me 4 hours to pick them. But they were nice ones.
You wouldn't make
That's
a very good living at that.
No, but not like before.
No.
The
Now,
only time I ever had a real good picking was in '43.
after the fires.
No, that was before the fire over Heideman's marsh, or went in where they lived.
Yes.
Henry Heidemann told us about it, because he went marshing it. Red Laurel Marsh is bad high,
Yes.
and it's passing.
Yeah.
We went in, and them berries were hanging out just like
Yeah.
grapes.
We used to, that would be about the same time. No, it would be in the late 30s. We used to go on Heiderman's Marsh,
Yeah.
and we'd take water buckets, and we'd go half a day in a group of 4 or 5 of us, and we'd have,
Yeah.
everything was full of
Well,
blueberries.
3 of us were in there. The 2 picked it faster than 2 pails full, then I could carry them out. You didn't have to go very far. They were hanging just like grapes on them vines. You hold up and you have a pill, and you just short waist, you'd have a pill.
I've gone in there in late years and never found a thing.
No.
Why?
After that fire, it was all right, and afterwards, something ain't right. There's too much other brush around, and another thing in spring, that the weather ain't right. If they don't get frost, then they dry up.
Well, they got last year they were dry. We didn't have any rain, and this year it was you had a freeze or a cold spell.
If they bloom, they freeze mostly.
Yeah,
That's
and
the trouble.
they
And
froze this year.
if they don't freeze, if they come on, they get dry weather and they dry up.
And they
Before,
dry,
every weather seemed to be always right. Very seldom it froze everything.
So I think probably, don't you, that where this out of Grayling and the fire that was over on the South Branch this spring, I think where those fires were, that year after next, not next year, but the following year should be good berries.
There will be if the weather's right.
Yeah.
If the blossoms come on in the spring and don't freeze, they're all right. But then if the blossom don't freeze, and so and you get the right weather, rain in the right time, then there'll be berries in there. But if it don't, there won't be none.
Just won't be any.
That's the trouble.
Could you tell us something about your school experiences? Did you have a lot of good friends in school? Did you like what you learned? Did you admire the teacher?
Well, we had a woman teacher in Loves there for a while.
Who was she? What was her name? Not Frances Wenis, I don't think. You didn't.
No, it was
You had Love. What was her name?
No,
Minnie Love. Minnie Love? No.
no, she wasn't there. It was Mrs. Corwin, Minnie Corwin's sister.
Oh.
And then we had a man teacher there by the name of Bailey. He was trying to get everybody in an agriculture business, farming.
Oh.
I got a trip on that going to Detroit for some reason or other. I can't figure that out.
Oh, that was nice. That was a
Yeah.
good experience.
The fellow from Roscommon got it too. I can't think of his name right now. He's gone quite a while ago. Then there's Mrs. Golnick was in there. I didn't go that winter. John was there. She lives in the house where Larson lives there, beside the pellet mill. That little house there between.
Oh, on the way into Roscommon.
Yeah, on the left-hand side.
Uh-huh. Golnick. Up on the hill.
Yeah.
No. The old-
Just east of the house, east of the hill there.
Uh-huh.
Well, we learned something, what we could have done better, but, well, I wasn't one of the smart guys anyways. Took a lot harder studying to get anything.
Oh, I don't know about that. You always knew how to
I
teach
could figure-
yourself to do
I could figure it out a little bit.
make a
and stuff,
living
yeah.
and do all those things independently, and that takes something. I mean, you didn't ever
Well, I got
work for
tired.
somebody else.
I got tired and I just quit school. It was
What grade?
Sixth grade, and I quit school. My brother went 1 year longer, and he quit school too. So I've worked ever since.
Did it get boring?
Why did you quit? What?
I don't know.
You didn't think there was much sense in
No,
going, apparently.
That's it. Of course, if I'd do it over, it'd be different.
Yeah, but I'll
It
tell
worked
you,
out. I don't know. I had odd jobs here and there, and
by that time though, you had to get your garden plowed and get the
Well, they've done a little of
seed
that
in,
and-
you know.
worked out a little. And
Plus going to school and you know, you didn't have a man here to do it. If you weren't home, no one did it. I don't think your mother ever went out and plowed or did anything heavy.
well, she done help pile of brush and burn the brush up and stuff like that. But I done most of that later on. But I don't know. I just didn't have no hankering for school for some reason or other. My sisters, they done different. They done
Yeah,
all right.
they went through high school and did the whole thing, college.
To one, she didn't have no troubles learning. She read it once and she could tell you what it was that happened. Me, I could read a dozen times and from 5 minutes after, so forget about it.
Well, you aren't interested in it, probably.
She was, Catherine's is as young as when she went and took nursery up. She went to Saginaw
She's Narayan.
General Hospital. And the girls had got kind of peeved on her because she didn't have to, she thought she was always getting help from Latin. She had to have Latin that time. She didn't. She just could pick it up these, you know. So they didn't like her in a way. But also she had a friend down there. She come up and we know her folks in there. They come up in Cottage Grove there. You know Jimmy Anderson there, the carpenter there?
Yes, yes.
Well, there was a friend of his, and he come up
Oh,
and stayed with him. They come up, and they always come up back and forth, and stopped here, and we had him come over here for dinner and stuff like that. When he brought Catherine up there, because his daughter was nursed in the same place, studied.
So that worked out well.
Yeah. Because his wife died, and so he come up here and brought her up, and her mother always had to deal or something for her.
Well, that was.
Because it's quite a trip there in the 30s to come up the
Yes,
highway it is now.
from
down
Saginaw.
the road.
It was a long trip. So, yeah.
So, I think it would be interesting to have on tape about how old his mother was when she died.
Oh, your mother was what? How old was your mother when she died?
I think 103 years old.
I think you're right. She must have been 25 years old anyway when she came over from Hungary then.
Yeah.
So she had a long, long life. Most of it right here.
Yeah.
Most of it working hard.
That's why they say a lot of these guys here don't sit there and thumb around and sit around, and when they retire, that's where they make their big mistake.
You're still working. You're still out in the
Well, they say,
doing
well, a
something.
lot of them say, kidding me. I say, what am I working so hard? I say, what I do? You should sit down and twiddle my thumbs. No, that's right. There's some like an old fella from Holt Lake was up here once. The doctor told him, what are you working so hard for? That's what he told the doctor. What I should twiddle his thumbs, lay down and hold a lily in my hand. That's what he told her. He had a heart condition. He said, well, I'm going to fuss around and keep on working. A few years after he died, but he would have died sooner. Why shouldn't he do that? That's why. If I sit in the house, I feel better when I'm outside moving around. I get tired, I'll admit it. But it's better sitting in the house. I get tired sitting around the house, too.
It's more interesting to be out and around. So, yeah.
Ask him if his mother has a disposition as cheerful as his seems to be.
She wonders whether your mother's disposition was as cheerful as yours seems to be.
Well, I don't know. I think so. She always was
She was always very
willing to help
pleasant.
out everybody.
Yeah, she was very generous.
Went to
Yeah.
neighbors and stuff and helped them out, and that's what we did. And they come over and helped us out once in a while.
That's
It ain't like now you can't. They don't even go to neighbors and visit no more. That's the trouble.
it's not like it used to be.
Had to walk. Now you take a car and you can ride, and they don't do it.
Yeah. So,
Well, how many how many descendants would your parents have now? Children, grandchildren, great grandchildren?
You're gonna make me kind of figure. I figured out once, what, 14 or 16.
John had 2 daughters.
2 daughters, yeah, and my Catherine had 4.
4.
That's the only 2 there was, and from there on they increased. There, Pat and Sandy. Sandy had 2, and Pat had 4. Now Pat's girls, 2 of them. One of them's got 3, and the other one's got 3.
So that's 6 of the great grandchildren.
And then my sister down below, she had 4, and one daughter's got 2, and the son's got 4, and the other daughter's got 3.
There's 2 and
That's
4
all.
and 3. That's
9, 6, 9, yeah. Oh, that's great. Did you ever have family reunions here?
No, that's how we didn't have. Although the sister from Indiana comes up every once in a while, and it's her nieces and nephews, they come up, and one of my nephews, they got that one boy, John, he was up here this weekend
Oh,
in John's cottage.
they bought the great cottage, the Mallinger
John's cottage, or my brother's cottage. Yeah.
Yeah, the sister bought the brother's cottage.
Yeah.
So that's nice then. That's something
They
for all
come-
of them to come
yeah,
to.
The oldest daughter there is a niece. She come up there and she's single. She come home and she told him about it, and I guess his son was there too, and they told her dad to buy it because Bob Watkins is getting ready to sell. They had to sell it, but nobody seemed to buy it, and so they bought it. And they come up here now. This is second summer. Yeah.
What about fishing? Did they go fishing?
Did you enjoy? Did you fish enough that you could have a lot of fish to eat?
Well,
Perch?
no, we didn't there when we first come out here. We didn't do too much fishing. Once in a while, I was out there. I know one time we was out in the lake in the winter time. It was cold, but the 2 of us went out there. John, myself, we was out there, and that's. See, I don't know. That must have been way back there in 25 or 26, something like that. We went out there, it's cold, and we went out there and we had to chop a hole in the ice. We couldn't auger nothing.
You couldn't what? You couldn't auger it.
We didn't have none. We had to use an axe to cut a hole in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We had a wash tub and Slater hauled down there and brought them home.
Did you? Oh, you had enough fish that you
Oh,
could.
we got enough fish at that time.
Oh,
we
you
come
mean?
home in the dark too.
Did you fill? You didn't fill the wash tub.
No,
No.
we
you
just took it with, take it
Oh,
stuff,
put your tools, your equipment in. Mhm.
tie it on the sled and take it down.
Mhm.
That's the only time. Then afterwards, we started going spearing there for whitefish and stuff.
In the evening, yeah.
Yeah.
At night, we used to spear at night too. Put a jack on a pitch pine jack on the front of the
We got
boat.
quite a few of them then. We got a few person here when we come to the sawmill. Then everybody's in the kitchen, so we went out and got a bunch of perch earth in through the ice in the winter time when it's catching them. 5-gallon pails full. One spring was 4 of us went out and we got 4 or 5-gallon pails full.
As they were running.
Must have been bigger than they are now. Then.
But when we fished for whitefish, you get enough so you could put them under a wash tub in the snow and keep them, couldn't you?
No, we never got that many.
Didn't
I
you?
don't know why. We never was in the right place. We just stayed in front of the lakeside camp through there that time.
Uh-huh.
Well, we got enough to eat. And
Uh-huh.
one time we was out there and we fish was doing, we would have been all right, but a fella had a motor on the boat, and I told him, point him where to go, and he turned too fast, and I took it
You went in?
in the water and got wet.
That's in November?
Yeah, and it's ice freezing. Well, I managed to, without tipping the boat over, and I landed on my feet in it.
How deep was it when you
waist
stood up?
Waist deep. I was going to stay out there, and I told him to go towards the camp, to his caretaker down there. And when I got in there, my clothes were stiff.
It froze on you.
And he went home, changed clothes, went out again, and there wasn't a fish in sight. They all left.
Oh,
Yeah, I
you're
don't
running
know.
just that little
They just
period.
took off once in deep water for some.
Well, it was
We
better.
didn't scare them or anything. It's just
It was
that
better
they-
though
Yeah.
fishing before the motors came in, because we used to fish before the motors when you'd
we
be
were-
silent, you know, and paddle, and that was great.
we rode before all the time. Didn't have no trouble.
Uh-huh.
I never backwards. I sat and pushed the oars the other way, and you could see what they was doing from.
Oh yes.
That worked nice too.
Yeah.
But when that guy turned the boat too fast, it took me off balance in front.
And then you
I
went.
didn't mind. I didn't notice it cold or anything. I got wet, but that's so cold. I was going to stay out and fish. But I said, no, I'll turn around and head toward home. By the time I got to camp, there wasn't too far away from it. Changed clothes, went out, and there wasn't a fish nowhere in sight. There wasn't even a sucker around.
Well, suckers were fish that
Sure.
local people ate.
We used to catch a bunch in the springtime,
Yeah,
and
under the dock, sure.
And
Yes, really.
well, we didn't even dock. We went out in the big creek there and other place and got them. And we pickled them and put them in cans just like you would buy salmon.
Oh, uh-huh,
You could eat bones and all.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once they were pickled, the bones would
Uh,
crunch, you would deteriorate.
You put
yeah.
vinegar on them and pickle them and
Mhm.
and cold pack them and put them in the hot water and cook them there so they then put them away.
Cold pack.
Then when you want them, you open the jar and they were just like salmon.
We never had that many, but and I really didn't care for the suckers, but Clayton always liked them, and in the springtime they'd spear them,
Yeah.
and I guess it was illegal later, but
Well, you couldn't then. You didn't. You can get them now if you can get a game warden to go with you.
you what?
If you get a game warden to go with you, you can go and get them now yet.
Why? Why the game warden?
So you don't get them on the others.
Oh yes, that's right. It's you're allowed to get the suckers, but how can they prove that you didn't? Yeah, all right.
That's why they stopped spearing in the
Yes.
fall of the year. For whitefish, people are getting too many
Trout.
trout in it.
Sure.
And if they kept still and just took a few in for themselves, but all right, but they had to go and had big doings with it and bragged how many they caught, and they thought, well, we can't stop and catch them now, so we just stopped
They spot it for themselves. Yeah.
them from spearing in the fall of the year.
That was great sport. That was something I enjoyed. Hmm.
Of course, you had to wait till a nice calm day and night. So
Yes, and they'd be just letting the. It had to be a dark night too, didn't it? Dark in the
Well,
moon.
yeah. Yeah.
So, what about cutting ice out in the lake? And I'm sure you cut your share. And
Well, I cut someone, but then he got high slipped the cutter with a machine he had, and it was a lot easier. We just put it up.
high slip.
Yeah, Tom Hyslip on
Uh-huh.
the south end of the lake.
But I didn't think that he came up here. I'd
Oh
forgotten that.
yeah, I think he cut. I think he cut Cottage Groves too.
Gee, when I was in Cottage Grove, they cut their own. I know Clayton, when we were first married, Clayton would go out and that
Well,
would be
that's yeah. Well, did here too. We cut when we first down, but otherwise, it mostly cut. The caretaker done the job cutting it. Then he had to fix it so he can with a Ford motor, and he fixed it so he could buzzsaw, and he cut it down. He just cut it
It was-
partway through it, and he went through and with a
It was
big
a lot
ice
easier
saw,
than
yeah, with that there saw, and then he cut it through, and he got a few chunks out, cut it out and they broke them off just a little bit because they got water and it didn't work very good. So they had to do it while it was dry, and then they opened up. Then they had to take that all out, otherwise it would freeze together again overnight.
And if the ice was more than
See, it's just a narrow cut in there, and you can water in that ice, and it freezes right shut again.
But ice, the lake couldn't be too. The ice couldn't be too thick on the lake because it would get too thick to cut. I know, and
Well, the saw just go down deeper. You just cut it smaller. The ice chunks.
Well, it seemed to me that if it was 36 inches deep, that it was almost too deep to cut.
Well, they tried to get it earlier in there, but they had to wait till they got strong enough so to get out with a team and bring it in, or a truck or something, then build a little road alongside the shore so you can get off and
to
on.
bring it up.
Yeah.
You know, I know, and it had to be deep enough so that it paid to cut it. So
well, you get it 20 inches, 18, 20 inches, that'd hold up.
that would be
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And 36 would be too deep.
Well, that's...
Once in a while it got too deep.
Well, it was something that didn't work and right, and then they waited longer and it got deep when everything is right.
Yeah.
Ask him if he ever got lost in the snowstorm.
Did you ever get lost in the snowstorm?
No.
No.
I never got lost.
You always knew where you were.
Well, I could have been lost a few times, but I just stopped and done a little right, figure out that I'm going the wrong way, and
with a team?
no,
Oh, with
just
a car.
just walking.
Oh,
just
walking.
Trying to turn around.
Uh-huh.
Walked with a feller towards the west there along the Beaver Creek there, but before he come to Military Road, he went around this swaler on this side of it, and I got a Military Road. I didn't know quite exactly which way to go, and I thought, well, now I figured out I had to go to the left instead of to the right. The right would have went north. So I come around.
Was the snow on the ground or was that
No, this was in
summertime?
Wintertime, I kind of turned around already, and Dead Stream Swamp was in. I come out way on the oil fields there, but I knew I was in the wrong place then.
Then you had to walk some miles to get back again?
I had to walk a mile or so to get back to my car. I had to go way around, follow the road.
A lot of people got lost in the Dead Stream.
Sure.
That's pretty dense.
Just been able to keep myself straight.
How did you? Was it just a sense of a feel, or did you observe the sun, or